Okay, today is March 31st, so I'm going to do a quick walk through this market garden and maybe just update some things. Right here is a couple of rows of sweet corn, and for the most part I'm pretty happy because this was an area right here where things did not grow very well, and I got some cover crop mixed into tilled in, and that seems to have helped this particular area, and I've been pretty good on my foliars with BT and spinosad and various AEA products, just trying to keep them healthy. You see I did have some issue, or I got behind caterpillars, got them, but since then they've been coming pretty good. Color seems to look pretty good, but and you'll see there's weeds mixed in here and there. I'm really not too terribly worried about it. Surprisingly, the corn on this side is interesting because this soil over here has been better than the soil area I went through. But the cover crop, when I tilled this cover crop in here, it was about, I think, around 6 weeks before I planted. With this other stuff that I just went through, I had tilled that in and planted immediately. And this side is not doing nearly as good as the side that was planted immediately after the cover crop was tilled into the soil. So just marking that down as a note, because I can clearly see a big difference, and normally this soil has outperformed. It's not drastically behind some areas, but it is behind. And down in through here, I got a bunch of brown top millet that from previous cover crop, and the seed got away from me, so it's sprouting. Over here, potatoes. We've definitely had some issues. There's one, I don't know, there's some type of wilt disease, or there's been fire ants. Let me just check and see with this, if I'm noticing any holes in the base of these. I don't see any fire ants on this one, so that's probably a wilt disease. Oh wait, no. I don't know what that is. Don't know what. I can't see that little creature. So, probably a wilt disease. Pull that up. See the potatoes starting to form on that one. This is a kind of a smaller plant. But we got some cucumbers back there too that'll trellis. Cucumbers. Got some beans in here too. That's just grass, that's not corn. Sunflower. Potatoes. For the most part, the potato plants look really good. There's no yellowing. Yeah, it might be. That's weird. There. Seen that, but potatoes. There's a ladybug hiding in there. Oh, it is. Actually, I don't know, that might be a foe. Yeah, this is one that fire ants were chewing in. There's another one. They knocked it down. Another one. Yeah, I can see the fire ants going everywhere. I can see, yeah, somewhere in here. I'm sure I'll be able to find some holes. Yeah. And you can probably just barely see the hole down there. There's fire ants getting in there. Well, I've been hitting it with spinosad, but it doesn't look like the spinosad is taking them out. So there's another plant, wilted, gone. Yeah, no fire ant activity on this one, so this is probably going to be a wilt disease here. I'll pull it up. I'm not a pro. I don't know what to necessarily look for as far as being able to see anything. Still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the wilt disease here on these. Let's see if I lost my recording, so I don't know if I can, what I'm looking for necessarily is that there's signs in there that it's getting plugged up from a bacteria or a fungus. Looks like to me like there's some brown in there. Whoops, my hand. So there's another one. Yeah, no signs of fire ants on this one. That's part, I'm sure that's, you can see there's two coming out the same spud here. That one's all wilted. This one looks fine for now, but it'll probably drop too. And we had, this was a whole row of potatoes I lost right here. Well, not the whole row, but quite a bit of it I lost. Some green beans in there. There's some potatoes there, and I lost some right there. So this has been the worst. This right here has been the worst area that I've gotten hit. But I've lost a fair amount. And I can see still losing some. I can see some, what do you call those? The leaf hoppers on here, on this one. Yeah, this one's got a whole big old hole in it. Oh, might have gotten the fire ants out of there on that one. Well, we'll see what happens. That plant can make it. There's obviously another one that's all wilted. You see, yeah. I mean, something has, oh, you see something has right in those spots. Down in here too. I haven't seen any caterpillars on these. There could be caterpillars burrowing into it, but I've only seen fire ants. This is another one. I can see they were burrowing in here. Got the plant. This one right here too. Yep. There's a fire ant, a couple of fire ants moving around. But they got this one too. Another one. Another one. So, yeah, they're hitting these potato plants kind of hard. These potatoes down here aren't growing as well as the others, but they're not getting hit. Pepper plants in there, pretty small yet. Not gonna. These are the tomatoes that went through our winter, so these are kind of our home tomatoes. We're just eating these ones ourselves. They're indeterminates that we planted last fall. They may survive through winter because we covered them. These are the ones. These are some of the tomatoes we planted for the market garden season. Some Romas and some other varieties. More potatoes over here. We've gotten hit right through there too. Missed. Got a bunch taken out. Tomatoes have done fine in this area. So put blooms on. That's going to be kind of wild there, but wilting here. It looks like I see signs of, yep, look at all the fire ants down in there, digging a hole right there in that stem going in. The spinosad has not stopped them. Tomato plants, some a little bit farther behind. These are all tomatoes through here. It's quite windy. This tomato plant is getting hit by a wilt disease. I can see it. Wilt disease, and or I'm sure, I'll go ahead and pull it. I've noticed some root knot nematodes, and that's probably what's going on here. So we'll look at some of this. Whoops. Trying to get this camera. I see a little. This one isn't as bad. Trying to see. I only see a little bit of knots there, so it's probably infection's probably getting in, some type of infection getting in because of the nematodes. I've had a few of these plants taken out, few tomatoes, but all in this particular area too, that's gotten taken out. There's a little one that's down. Lost some tomato plants in this particular area. Got some carrots growing through there. Some sunflower here and there. I'm going to be, on a fair amount of things, I'm going to plan on sending some stuff in for some sap testing just to kind of get an idea of what's going on, both on the potatoes and tomatoes and various stuff. I want to send some corn samples in, some tomatoes, down here, the plants get better. Like you see these plants versus this direction. The soil changes right around in here to a higher organic matter. And you look at that, and then the organic matter drops off a little bit as it goes that direction, and a little bit higher calcium levels go in that direction versus that direction. It's just the way it was when we were getting soil delivered in here. We had some soil that, as you go this way, the calcium level in the limestone was more, and the organic matter was about 2 to 3% lower, anywhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 5 over here percent organic matter, and 7 to 8%, closer to over 7 as you go that way. And you can see the difference in how the plants are performing as you go that way versus over here. Although definitely, I mean, the potatoes are all growing in mostly an area that is 7 to 8% organic matter, and they're getting clobbered. So I'm not very good at filming, sorry. There's some beets in here too. The leaves definitely don't look very good. It might be because it's definitely not the time of year for beets. It's quite hot already. Tomato plants. Yeah, I've been foliaring with manganese and some iron, some urea. What else have I just started hitting a little bit of photomag on this stuff, but all really I'm kind of flying blind on it. Don't really know for sure, so who knows what's I'm doing right on that. I see this is, you can see some wilt starting here on this particular plant. It looks fine up here. Well, it's getting wilty there. So something's going wrong here with this tomato plant. While the one right next to it looks fine. At least as far as it appears fine. But we'll see. As I said, I'm going to do some sap testing on these and see what's going on. This particular row, actually, the organic matter is a little bit better. This is actually a fairly decent row right here. And the squash plants. And it's another one I want to get tested. Right now we're not getting hit by any caterpillars on these, but I know they typically will start coming. So I want to do a sap test on these two and just see where it's at, what's going on. And I'll do it maybe a couple more times before this will all be done, and basically by the end of May, early June, this will be all done. And then there's some okra plants in here. They're just little right now, just getting started. And we're back over to where the corn is. Corn color looks pretty good, I think. Like I said, I've been keeping up. I've been spraying rebound manganese, rebound iron, urea. But I'm sure I know I've seen the caterpillars try to hit them if I don't keep up with the BT. So I definitely got some imbalances. I mean, that's what's going to happen when you're flying blind. So we'll do some testing and see if we could find out exactly what's going on, and see if we can dial it in a little bit more for the last couple months, and we'll see what we get out of this. So That's an update on the market garden. Things have been growing now for what, 4 to 6 weeks? Basically, mid-February is when we started planting. By the first week of March, we were pretty much done. So some stuff, a couple of weeks, other stuff, 4 to 6 weeks. Potatoes, 6 has been in the longest. So that's our update on the market garden.